In this video, you're going to hear one of the creepiest 911 calls you've ever heard, guaranteed, all right? Because this is also backed up by a sheriff that says that the person making the call is credible. I've been basically on a bit of a search, because on this channel we cover ghosts, aliens, UFOs, weird things like that, right? And I've been on this search for some more of the cryptid things. I've been looking into Bigfoot, funny enough. I'm going to be doing a video on that. And I stumbled across this video clip, this audio clip, and it's absolutely freaky. You're going to listen to it, but I think it's important to understand whereabouts this thing actually took place and what other things are going on around there, right? Because it paints a pretty darn freaky picture, okay? So the location was North Carolina in Moores Creek National Battlefield. There is a documented history of strange beings, cryptids, and paranormal activity tied to Moores Creek National Battlefield in Pender County, North Carolina, and nearby regions. As a Revolutionary War site of the 1776 Battle of Moores Creek Bridge, it naturally attracts ghost lore, shadowy soldiers, eerie whispers, and battlefield apparitions. Encounters like skinwalkers, dogman-like entities, and humanoid creatures. These draw from Native American folklore, colonial era tales, and modern sightings. So a couple of things before we get into the audio, because I know you wanted to listen to the audio. Listen to this, right? In 1980s, the soldier phantoms. In the 1980s, present battlefield trails, shadowy figures in tricorn hats, marching at dusk, cannon echoes without source. Visitors report cold spots and musket smoke smells. Now, this is really crazy. So the 1900s, the bleeding man. And when you hear the audio, you'll relate this to that, right? Spectral loyalist soldier with bayonet wounds appears to drivers and then vanishing when approached. That's freaky. And you're going to hear that in the audio, right? And then the Whispering Woods in the 2010s Battlefield Perimeter, okay? Hikers hear Revolutionary War chatter or cries for help. EVP, electronic voice phenomena, captures join us, the words join us. So what you're going to see now is the sheriff reporting on this audio, okay? You're going to hear his report, you're going to see a few diagrams, plus the audio. Listen to this, watch this, it's absolutely mental.
It is very hard to listen to that call, to that 911 tape, without becoming somewhat unnerved. It actually bothered me the first time that I heard it.
County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
I'm driving on 210. I just crossed the Black River, and I thought I saw a guy standing on the side of the road bleeding.
Okay, where are you at, sir?
I'm on 210. I just crossed the Black River. I'm heading towards 53 East. I just passed Patriots Watch.
Okay, so you're over near Moores Creek?
Yes.
Okay. And did you saw a man standing on the side of the road?
What the?
What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
There's something in the bed of my truck!
Okay, what's in the road?
No, it's not in the road, it's in my truck! In the bed!
There's something in the bed of your truck?
Yes, ma'am, I just turned on my bed lights for my truck and there's something in my bed.
Okay, sir, when you say something, what do you mean?
I just knocked it off of the bed of my truck and went over my roof.
Okay, what was it?
According to the CAD notes and the deputy reports, this thing jumped into the back of his pickup truck and began to actually beat on the top of the cab of his truck. You could actually hear something beating on the top of the truck. the caller stated that it was beating and scratching on the top of the cab of his truck. He actually stated that he was able to engage his bed light and was able to somewhat identify this object that was in the back of his truck. At some point, he was able to slam on his brakes, and the force of inertia actually threw this thing out over his hood and onto the highway, where this thing stood up in the roadway, made its way to the wood line, and disappeared in the woods.
Excuse me if there's a change of tempo right now, okay? But I recorded this video a few days ago, and then today I found out, because I was scrolling through TikTok, I saw Hallucination Hippies, that he was covering this story, and then he's found an interview from this guy. So I've not seen it yet. I've managed to find it. I've saved the interview. Let's have a little look to see what this guy says about what he saw.
Well, I guess I'll start from the beginning of the trip. I was coming up from Florida to visit my family. At the time, I was going to a trade school down there, and when I was driving up here to where the incident occurred by the battlefield, it was already easily like well into the morning. I wasn't looking at my phone. I just know it was pitch black outside, and it was pitch black. I couldn't see the moon, stars, nothing, just barely the road through my headlights. And I had my window down because the AC wasn't working the best. And as I was coming around, there's a massive right curve right there before you cross the Black River, and then after that you have the battlefield. So on that massive black curve, as I'm coming around, I had just started the curve, and I was about a third of the way through it, and I look over into the ditch on my right because I caught a quick glimpse of something, and as I take a further look, it looks like there's I'd say probably a 30-something-year-old man standing in that ditch wearing what looks like an old Civil War uniform, just covered head to toe in blood. And
right, so it is the spirits that people claim to have seen. So it is that, right? I thought at first when I heard about the story, I just thought he was radioing in or calling 911 because he saw somebody beaten up, or, you know, but that now follows suit on the reports from so many other people seeing it like basically that type of ghost, let's just call it, right?
the uniform was torn as well. That threw me off because I didn't expect to see it at like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, I'm calling 911 after I see him to report that, because for all I know, it could have just been a normal guy that was injured and needed needed emergency help. It looked like what had happened is he hit his head on something.
Okay.
And the blood was just pooling down over his face and torso.
Okay.
And well, as I was calling, you know, everything seemed perfectly normal. Just quick phone call to 911, let them know, hey, there's a guy out here, and try to find somewhere safe to park so that way I can take them to him. Well, as you know from the 911 call, right as soon as I reported that, I already had my window up at that point. All of a sudden, I heard a massive bang on my truck, and my truck bounced down from the rear, like I was pulling a heavy trailer and I hit a pothole.
Wow.
And so I'm sitting there going, what the hell was that? Which I'm pretty sure you heard me yell, what the hell? I turned on my my bed light, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and all I saw was this white, like snow white face right up against my rear windshield.
Oh,
like it was
mate.
looking into my truck, trying to see what it could see. It had shallow, sunken eyes. It had no nose. Just think if you took skin and put it on a human skull and stretched it thin.
Oh, mate.
Couldn't see any ears, just that. And immediately, I just started screaming. I didn't realize until afterwards that I had said that's not human on the call, because it was just the first thing I started screaming because I was terrified. I didn't have my firearm with me. Nothing.
See, I've got to be honest with you. That's the sort of natural reaction I think a lot of people would have. Like, you need a shout, right? And the first thing that comes to your mouth instantaneously would be the thought that's gone into your head. That's not human. Like, you know? Or, what the fuck is that? Or something like that. But, like, that's not human. That's not, as in, alert. Mate, that's freaky as hell.
All I had was a wood splitting axe. That's all I had. So, and my truck is loud as is, and it picks up speed fairly easily. Well, my truck at the time. It had a gas-powered 6-liter V8 Vortec on it, and it was a proper dual exhaust, hence why I had the window up, because that truck is nice and loud. Well, I'm doing in between like 55, 60 miles an hour when this happens, and I just stomped on the gas for a second. When I looked at the speedometer before I slammed on my brakes, I was doing maybe 80. And I slammed on those brakes with all my might, and I went from like 80 miles an hour down to like 35 in just like a couple of seconds. And all I see is this super scrawny long body just fly over my truck in a ball rolling.
Oh, mate, was that right? Okay. Because I've looked into, like, some people say it's Skinwalker. Now I've looked into this rake, and apparently, like, this rake is a made up creature, right? From, what is it? Creepypasta. But Skinwalkers, on the other hand, or if not an alien, mate, maybe this was a bloody alien. It could anything. But what is the ones that? Because the thing is, if the ghost figure on the side of the road, apparently, like, that potentially could have been something that lures you towards it. It makes you slow down and stop, which gives the weird, maybe it's like a shapeshifter. Or is, you know, those two beings have got something connected, I think. You saw the ghost, you freaked out, you slowed down. That's what, then maybe it fucking shape-shifted into this fucking thing, jumped on his truck. But mate, let's hear.
I then swerve to the left and get back in the travel lane, and I floor it. And as I'm swerving to the left, I see it stand up, and it is easily taller than that truck.
No way.
I'm 5'10". The truck is about 2 inches taller than I am. And this thing was easily like maybe 7 feet.
Wow. Shit.
And as I pass it, I look in my mirror and I see it bolt to the left into the woods, and it looked like some, I don't even know what the hell, because it looked like somebody took a normal human and stretched them out, starting with the limbs.
Wow.
It, like, abnormally long.
Hang on a second. Being is 7 foot tall, white and skinny. Slenderman! No, that's a fucking game! Slenderman has been depicted in imaginary... Yeah. I have seen hundreds of these things at night in the woods, in the rural areas around Memphis. Starting around 2020. They are tall humanoid creatures with blacked out eyes, and they move slowly in a strange jerky movements. Oh God. Was it this thing? Is it a bloody alien? Tall whites? Tall whites? He would say about the black eyes, right? It also said no nose. These pale, lanky beings are said to be over 7 feet tall. What? And were made famous by former military weather observer Charles James Hall, who detailed his alleged encounters during his time in the Air Force Base in Nevada. Nellis. Tall whites are described by Hall are allegedly humanoid aliens with long limbs, pale skin, and glowing blue eyes, unlike little green men.
Legs and arms, and it just took off into the woods. And I just said, nope, I'm out of here. I'm not staying to figure out what this is. And there's a gas station all the way at the corner where the highway intersects. And I pulled into that gas station. I was doing like 90 all the way to that gas station because that was the only place with any light that I saw.
Right.
And I just stopped in that parking lot and waited like 10, 15 minutes for state troopers to show up. Well, next thing I know, the state troopers show up at the gas station, and I'm just staring back at that road to make sure that it's not coming back.
Right.
So I tell them what happened. They proceed to look at my truck, look in the bed of the truck, look on top of the cab, and on top of the cab, clear as day, you can see like it was scratching trying to get into my truck.
Really?
You've got to be able to see the scratches. Show us the scratches. Somebody knocked on my door.
Or when it initially hit, another way to look at it is when it hit the back of the truck and landed in the bed, like it had latched onto the hood for a second and scraped trying to balance itself.
Yeah.
And you could see that clear as day.
Let's have a look.
There was a couple of scratches from like squirrels and tree branches, but those stuck out because it looked like it had landed like this and just ripped backwards.
How many scratch marks is it?
And
Just try and work out how many fingers.
Well, they asked me to take them approximately where it happened, and I mean, when it's the middle of the night and you're going the opposite direction of where you just came, your sense of direction's a little off.
Right.
So I took them back to approximately where I believe it was, because I couldn't see. I didn't remember any landmarks because I was going from the other way. But there was an S curve, and I think I took them. I think I might have taken them on accident to the S curve, but the incident happened before that S curve because I hit that S curve going about 65 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. I still remember the jolt of the truck, the fear, everything. I remember pretty much everything just in that one moment. I looked at the truck the next morning. Sure enough, scratch marks are right there on the roof of the truck.
What were the reaction of the law enforcement officers that showed up?
The law enforcement officers, when they showed up, they were skeptical. Although now they might not be as much. But at the time, the troopers especially seemed skeptical. Parks and Wildlife, when they flew the drone, they seemed more curious than anything. And EMS was more like, okay, are you okay? And they went and looked for the other guy and couldn't find him.
So the state patrol were there.
Yes.
EMS.
Yes.
Wildlife.
and the
sheriff's department.
Yes.
I guess, because we interviewed the sheriff.
It doesn't sound like he's made this up at all, mate.
So
Yes.
he had deputies out.
And I think one of them might have broken off after the initial contact with me. But I know one of them was with me because I was still in fight or flight when they told me, hey, can you go back and show us? Because I did not want to go back. I don't want to.
I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you.
I still refuse to drive through that area at night because
It's freaky deaky.
I don't know what I saw. I don't ever want to see it again.
May. See, if he had told you that without the 911 call, you'd be like, I don't know, just bullshit, making it up. But the 911 call just puts so much more credibility into it. Anyway, let's go back to me the other day. That's pretty darn crazy. I don't know what to think about that. So the reports, right, saying about people seeing somebody on the side of the road with like blood on them, right? The bleeding man. Spectral loyalist soldier with bayonet wounds appears to drivers and then vanishing when approached. So the question is, some people are asking, is this a deliberate, like, it's almost like in tandem, where maybe the ghost was that? Did it shapeshift into this? Did it pretend to be this person on the side of the road to like lure somebody in close and then just shapeshift into this being of some sort? Was it like a skinwalker or something? Like, what is that? That is the strangest thing I've heard in so long. Like I say, it's a quick video. I just wanted to tell you about that, mate. Tell me what you think. All right. I might have to have a little bit more of a look into this place, mate. Creek National Battlefield. Moores Creek National Battlefield. What the hell is going on in North Carolina, baby? Come on! I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.